Hi guys, and welcome to Tony Fox Tarot. Thanks for tuning in to watch this channel. I'm Tony. Today's pick a card reading is the question, can I trust them? Really important question, foundation of any kind of relationship that you're having, whether it's intimate, friendship, family. Understanding whether you can trust that person dictates everything about your interaction and future with them. You might be in a relationship with somebody, have been for a very long time, but you can't really read them. You're not sure if they're telling the truth. Maybe a hunch that something is not right in terms of what they're actually articulating. Maybe this is somebody who you're watching from afar, but you just get an odd feeling about it. You're just not sure whether you can really trust them, and you don't know whether to go ahead or not. It doesn't have to be an intimate relationship. This might be somebody who you know as a good friend or a family member. Context is the same. Essentially what we're going to do today is break down their psychological profiles. We're going to look at their mental and emotional and spiritual characteristics, and we're going to find out whether this is somebody that you can trust. What are their motivations? Before we get started, if you would like to go down below and hit subscribe, that would be great. And please like and share this video where you can. Comments would be great. Excellent to get your feedback if you want to make a comment. Okay, focusing before you on the screen, 4 different cards, each represented by a different crystal. We have card number 1 with the rose quartz, card number 2 with the red carnelian, card number 3 with the citrine, and card number 4 with the hematite. So, feet firmly on the ground, taking in a nice deep breath. And as you're letting that breath go, just letting out any tension that you're holding from within. Taking in another nice deep breath. And as you're letting that breath go, just clearing the mind. Now, framing that person clearly in your mind, asking the question, can I trust them? Another nice big deep breath in, focusing on that person and the question, and letting out the breath. Now, before you on the screen, 4 different cards, focusing back on those cards, which has the strongest pull for you? Is it card number 1? With the rose quartz? Is it card number 2 with the carnelian? Is it card number 3, the citrine? Or is it card number 4, the hematite? Okay, down below we have 4 different timestamps representing each of the different cards before you. If you would like to go to the card that you selected, I'll be with you in a moment. Hi guys, this is card number 1. Okay, so if you chose the rose quartz, then this is the reading for you. And today's question is, can I trust them? So really important question in any relationship. So let's get the cards out on the table. So first of all, we have death, the 4 of wands, the world, page of pentacles, the devil, and the queen of wands. This is the Rider-Waite deck, and we have a Doreen Virtue angel card, which is separation, and a psychic tarot of the heart card. We've got 2 here. First one is control, and the second one is choose your battles. Now the first thing I'm drawn to are the psychic tarot of the heart cards. I feel like this person is really lacks greatly in terms of their ability to control the emotional self. I feel like they've really lost a sort of an intellectual perspective about what's going on in terms of their connection with you. You know, it's sort of a total over investment on an emotional level. It shows a sort of a laziness around their ability to be able to keep things centered and rational and balanced. Everything is sort of met with a real sort of overreaction. They tend to spit the dummy really quickly, and I kind of feel this is a very pouty sort of person that really needs to work on tightening up, a bit of self-discipline in terms of the way they're actually acting around you. I think this person can also be very confronting. This is choose your battles. This person doesn't choose their battles. They just react to everything, and they can be very confronting in a way that is quite harsh. Buck tends to stop with them in a way where I think that's quite exhausting. This is somebody who is very demanding. It's sort of just sort of, it kind of comes across as very selfish, a bit self-centered, and bit of a princess in a way. It's sort of like, oh gosh, it was like, really, are you really going to go there? But they do. Very quickly, very easily. This is reinforced very much by the Devil and the Queen of Wands. The Devil points to the trust question. The question is, can you trust this person? The Devil is an untrustworthy person, okay, coupled with the Queen of Wands. I feel this person, the Queen of Wands, the Wands are very much about energy and responsibility in terms of work. Yeah. And now how does that relate to work? How do you relate work into a relationship? Because relationships are work. They require a lot of effort, and it depends on how professional that person is going to be in the way that they conduct themselves, but also in terms of the reliability of their output. Now, the Queen of Wands is not higher on the order. She's high up there, but if you could depend on this person all the time, it would be the King of Wands. And the Devil compounds the fact that this is not a totally reliable individual. When it comes to this person being there for your needs when you need them most, you turn around and they aren't there. They're distracted by a number of things. I also feel that this is an indication of, if it's a more intimate relationship, this is also an indication of maybe they've got a bit of a wandering eye now. And I'm not saying that they are sleeping around on you, but I don't feel that they're totally reliable in terms of their honesty as to how they really feel about you and other people in a sexual sense. Okay, there's something that they're kind of covering up here, something that's not quite right, and I think they prefer just not to discuss it so as not to make it into an issue. This person's, most negative quality is that they are very unreliable when it comes to the relationship. And I think that kind of puts a real pressure on you, and it puts a pressure on the dynamic of the relationship. I'm drawn over here to Death and the Four of Wands. Death indicates to me that there's a transition, ending linked to a new beginning with this person. This has been a tumultuous time. I feel like the two of you have come through a very challenging and very difficult transition. Perhaps it's brought the both of you to a brink where you feel that things can't go on. However, because you're so not emotionally, but you're very invested with each other. You've worked very hard over this time to try and get through this difficult time. I feel that the two of you have put a real stake in this. It's like, you've been to the brink, yeah, where it's nearly fallen over the edge. So you've sort of been at the precipice, yeah. But the both of you have decided that you're invested in each other in a way where you want to see through this difficult time. And I think that as a result, it's kind of brought you to this point where we have the World and the Page of Pentacles. The World is very much about success. Page of Pentacles is quite a sort of a nuts and bolts analytical card. It's a new beginning. So it's a new beginning towards success. It's a new beginning in light of facts and figures. Perhaps the both of you have been through things. You've actually analysed things. You've thought things through. You've made a plan to say, look, we want to succeed. We want to move forward into the future and achieve the success of a relationship that can take us forward into a new beginning. I feel maybe also, if it's more intimate, maybe you're sort of invested financially with each other, which comes back to Death. I think you've both been working very hard. You've both been very industrious. I think that there's been some great results, both for you independently, maybe professionally, certainly in terms of building a relationship structure, there's a lot there to give up if it actually does end. And, you know, that adds weight to wanting to take things forward into the future and being successful, etc. But the question comes back to what we were discussing before, if you can trust them. And I don't feel that this person is there for you fundamentally in a way where if it all goes belly up, you know, that they're actually going to be standing by your side, ready to support you in a way that gives you everything you need to flourish. They're distracted. They're distracted by their own needs. They're distracted by other people. You know, I don't feel that they're totally honest with you about what they're working towards. I think they're saying all the right things because they don't want to lose everything that they've invested with you. But I feel that they're not working towards the same goal that you've both agreed on. That's fundamentally what I feel. And the trouble is that this person's not, they're not looking at themselves. They're not being honest. The thing is, they're not being honest with themselves, you know, and then when you try to confront them at any time, you just get this reaction that becomes very emotional and very difficult. And, you know, like, and then it becomes it becomes a real issue to a point where they stand their ground and there's no flexibility, you know. It's all about what they want, all about what they need. Where's this going? Come on, guys, where's this going? And I'm sorry to say, but I feel that a separation is on the horizon. This is, you know, whether it's an intimate relationship or whether it's a friendship or a family friend, time out. Time out. You need time out from this person. Time out in a way that gives you the ability to look at things with a balanced perspective, without all the pressure of what you're working towards in terms of goals, about what you think that you might lose if you leave. You know, these are pieces of the backdrop. They're not the center of the show. The center of the show is trust. That's why we're here today. And this person's not showing the trust. So you need to have some time out and reassess what's going on. This person needs some time out to reassess what's going on. Because if you just carry on this way, nothing's been resolved. Nobody's any wiser, especially you. Because it comes back to what this person wants, about how they have not worked on themselves to be honest about who it is they are and what it is that they want. Look, I really hope that this reading has made some sense to you, that it's helped you in some way. If it has, please leave some feedback down below. It'd be great to get that. Hit subscribe. Great to have you as a follower. And like and share the video where you can. Now, if you would like to see me or contact me about a one-on-one reading, more detail, obviously, www.tonyfoxtarot.com. And that's it. Hope you are all smashingly well. Take care. Thanks very much. Hi guys, this is card number 2 and this is the red carnelian. So if this is the stone that you chose, this is the reading for you. And today's question is, can I trust them? So let's get the cards straight out on the table. We have the Sun, Queen of Swords, the Emperor, Two of Pentacles, Judgment, and Queen of Wands. We have stay optimistic about your love life, feeling alone, and awaiting results. So today we're working with the Rider-Waite deck, the Doreen Virtue Angel cards for relationships, and the Psychic Tarot of the Heart cards. So first cards that I'm actually drawn to are the Sun and the Queen of Swords. I feel like this person is very isolated, very withdrawn. They feel alone, and they're suffering. I think they're really trying to figure out a bit of a, it's it really is a sort of a question as to their happiness, their mental health, what they need to feel better about themselves. I feel like they really are suffering a lot, and I get a sense that they don't feel supported by friends and family or people in the community. They don't feel that anybody is there for them at this time. Perhaps they're feeling that the best thing to do would be just to move on, to go it alone, to be on their own. Maybe they feel at this point they feel happier when they're on their own in isolation. It's a place where they can deal with things, where they're not distracted, where they're not suffering so much. There's a connection between the two of you, though. There's a very powerful one, very strong. The two of you orbit in each other's lives very closely. Maybe this is also about past lives. I kind of feel there's a real strong link there in terms of a kind of a history that goes way, way beyond maybe in this world. This person's very intelligent, very strong energy, quite a masculine energy. There's something quite dynamic about them. They can be a little bit one-sided, though. I think it can all be about them at times, and maybe a little bit selfish as well. But they're feeling quite worn out about what's going on between you and them. I think they're taking things very hard. They're really needing time out to rest, to recuperate, thinking about a future with you as to where things are going. I think what they're weighing up at this point in time is, Judgment, Queen of Wands, very much about weighing things up, asking the big questions, learning from your mistakes, moving forwards into responsibility, based on my past experiences, how much more responsibility do I need to invest into this relationship to keep it going? Perhaps they're feeling really tired, really worn out, suffering a lot, and that they feel that they don't have as much as they could to give to what's going on. I think this person's been through a really difficult experience. Maybe you're questioning whether this is somebody that you want to be with, if it's intimate in terms of like a loving relationship, or if it's just a friendship or a family member or a friend. Maybe you're questioning whether you should move on, from this person because trust is an issue. But they've taken it really badly. The question is, can you trust them? Okay, that's why we're sitting here today. And I feel that this person actually is very honest. I don't say it's what you see is what you get. I think this person says there's been a lot of suffering throughout their life. They can keep a lot to themselves. They don't give a lot away all the time. Okay, they keep a tight grip on their personal experiences. Maybe it looks like they're not sharing, or that they're not there for you in a way where you can depend on them. But this is a person who has suffered and learns through suffering, okay? This is not somebody who runs away from problems. This is somebody who learns from mistakes, okay? These are the signs of a person who can articulate a process within themselves and who is honest enough about what they need to do to step up, to give a relationship of any kind what it needs in order to survive. They may be flagging at this time in terms of their input, but I think that's more to do with their sense of isolation, feeling alone. They feel alone. They feel that they don't have support, as I've already mentioned. And this is a person who is going on a very personal journey. I feel like it's an inner crisis of feeling rejected. I think it triggers something that's happened for them in the past. The Queen of Swords and the Sun. This is about happiness. The Sun is very much about happiness, and the Queen of Swords is a person who has suffered in the past, long ago, and who has learned through that experience, has not been able to let it go fully, but understands that suffering is a part of what life is about. But it does overshadow their happiness at this time. I think this sense of feeling alone, there's a sense of feeling rejected, and that is sort of pushing a lot of buttons in terms of what's happened in the past. But the point is that they feel very strongly about this connection with you. The Emperor is about the motivation and the drive and the determination to achieve anything, really. But it's coupled with the Two of Pentacles, and the Two of Pentacles is a card of infectious opportunity. Yeah, it is obviously the infinity symbol. It is a very I guess auspicious card, in as much as it does indicate that the connection between the two of you is something that this person prioritizes first and foremost. They want to keep this going, that you are at the center of their world in many ways. I think the question is just whether they have the energy to be able to give you what it is that you need at this time, based on their suffering, based on the time that they need to have out to actually go through an inner process. And I feel that it's about time. Awaiting results is about seeding the relationship, and nurturing it and giving it time to grow. Things don't like this don't just happen overnight. They happen over time. I feel that also this is somebody who is actually going to stay optimistic about the relationship. They just need to go through this process of suffering, okay, to sort things out in their mind, to become clear about what it is that they need to give you in order to achieve, what is possible in tandem with you. So I do feel you can trust this person. And although they might not seem to be there at the time, right now, maybe they seem to be very distracted. It's not because they don't prioritize you. It's not because they don't feel that connection with you. It's not because they don't place an importance on it. It's just that they are distracted by other processes in their world at this time. We all have difficult periods in our lives where we need to withdraw in order to consolidate and understand ourselves and what's going on in our world, as well as our relationships. And I feel that this is somebody who needs support from you, a show of love, affection, attention, some nurturing ground is really important in order to seed what you both have together and to bring it to its full fruition. This person is suffering. They need support, okay? Even if they're withdrawn, show them a lifeline, okay? Be there for them at their time of need. I hope this has helped in some way. And if it has, please like and share, leave some comments down below, hit subscribe while you're down there. And if you're interested in having a one-to-one reading, contact me via www.tonyfoxtarot.com. Hope to hear from you all again soon. Bye-bye. Hi guys, this is card number 3. So this is the citrine stone. And if you chose citrine, then this is the reading for you. And today's reading question is, can I trust them? Really simple question. But if it's not the right answer, then not so simple, because trust is fundamental to any relationship. If you don't have it, you're on shaky ground. Let's get straight into it. Cards on the table. We have the Fool, Page of Wands, the Hermit, the Six of Cups, the Chariot, and the Six of Swords. This is the Rider-Waite Tarot deck. We have a Doreen Virtue Oracle card, the Angels Oracle card. So we have children. Your love life is being affected by children. And the Psychic Tarot of the Heart Oracle deck, we have Seek and Detach. Immediately drawn to the Fool and Page of Wands, which I feel really is descriptive of the person that we're talking about. Very outgoing, really outdoorsy type, adventurous, pretty much up for anything, you know, that's about kind of getting outdoors or maybe trying something new. A lot of really positive energy there. I think a really attractive person too. You kind of got a very sort of, you know, like a very youthful nature, very high energy, itchy feet, needs to be out and about doing things, very active, handsome, good looking. But there is a sort of slight negative drawback here, and as much as they don't think too much about the detail. They don't want to get bogged down in anything that sort of pulls them back from their freedom. They don't like to be restricted. They like to be out and doing what they want when they want. The Fool is a card about a road less traveled, but it's also about independence and inspiration. You know, it's very much about doing what they want when they want. And they don't like to conform with that particular influence. Page of Wands, very much about new beginnings. It's an adventurous card, obviously. High energy in terms of, you know, I guess the physical kind of energy. He's a very, very sort of sexually active person too. He's really, really kind of like probably a lot of fun to be with on that level. But what am I picking up here? I feel this is a new beginning. They want a new start, which implies that things haven't been going so well. And when I get here to the Hermit and the Six of Cups, that really does tell me a lot more, because the Hermit is very much about a reflection on the past. It's a self-reflective process. Yeah. The Six of Cups, it's a card about children, but it's not just about children. It's about negative influence. And I feel that there has been some kind, maybe this person, you know, has children from their past, from a past relationship. Or perhaps somebody from their past is having an influence on what's going on between the two of you at this point in time. I feel that there is a negative influence. The Six of Cups is a card that on the outward sort of level, on the face value, sort of says, this is all lovely, it's all really rosy. You know, children being really lovely with each other, you know, the cups are filled with lovely flowers. But behind the scenes, there's something very negative. It's a card about taking off the rose-coloured glasses, the rose-tinted glasses, and actually having a look at what's going on more deeply, okay? And I think what runs very deep, okay, in terms of an influence on this particular person that we're talking about is some kind of negative influence from either a past relationship, and it might have something to do with children. And this is compounded by children. The children card, your love life is being affected by children. So it could be that there is you know, the other parent of these children is constantly in the mix of what's going on between the two of you. And that can be really difficult, because you're not only having to navigate your relationship with this person, but you're having to navigate a relationship that they had in their past. And, you know, this implies manipulation. But the question is, can you trust the person that we're talking about in this relationship? Look, I think on a face value, I do feel you can trust them. You know, I think that they are very honest. I think that they are pretty much what you see is what you get. You know, I don't get a depth of manipulative, strategic, I guess, the negative, you know, projecting going on here. This is somebody who just wants to be out doing their thing when they want to be doing it. You know, it's a bit Boysy in a way. It could be, you know, this could be a woman as well, so it could be sort of very tomboyish as well. So I do think you can depend on them in a way where they're not going to try and consciously do anything to hurt you. However, This is also somebody who is actually has a high degree of immaturity. And through not thinking things through not taking on what's going on in a kind of responsible way, by default, you can't trust that they will actually be there in a responsible fashion to stand up for what is going on in terms of the scenario that's playing out with this other relationship and these children, this negative influence. I don't feel that they're going to step up and kind of, address what's going on fundamentally. They're just going to go with the flow because they don't want to get bogged down in the details. So by kind of ignoring it really does leave them very irresponsible. And in that sense, you can't trust them to step up and do what's right for the two of you, which is to create boundaries. Now, I feel that this relationship is going to sort of limp along with this situation that sort of fails to resolve in a way, and that's going to be really problematic because you're not going to have a situation where the two of you have a detachment from this negative influence, outside of your relationship. It's going to have a real stronghold on everything that you do. And I think, so if you're looking to develop and sort of flourish in terms of as a couple, then that's going to be problematic. This is Seek. Now, Seek, very beautiful card, but it really is asking you to go inwards and really look to see and feel what it is that you really want. It's really about diving in based on this issue. It's about diving in and really linking into the truth of what is important to you in terms of this particular relationship. Can you or do you want to be in a situation where that kind of influence is playing out? What are your priorities in any relationship? Are they being met? Are you feeling fulfilled in this relationship? Do you see a future in where this is all going? And if so, how is that structured? What is it that you want for the future? I think this is really important because if you don't identify this criteria, there is a really strong potential for you to get caught up in what's going on in a way where you're just carried along with it, okay? Because this person's not taking the responsibility to address what's going on. You're kind of aimless in a way. I mean, you know what you want in one way, but you don't have any control over how it sort of moves ahead because your influence doesn't reach into this negative influence, if you understand what I'm saying. So it's time to detach, okay? It's time to actually pull away. It's time to give yourself some space, get away, go away on a retreat. Okay, go and stay with family or friends for a while, for a couple of weeks. Go on a holiday. Do anything that gets you away from the immediacy of what's going on here. You need some time out. Having time out will give you the ability to detach from all of these influences. It'll give you some space. It will allow things to settle down so that you can begin to really sort of build on what it is that you really want out of a relationship for the future. Now, is it this relationship or is it another relationship? Having the time out will allow you to sift that down and to gestate what it is that you really want. It's not about saying you want anything in particular. It's actually about a process that you need to identify and go through so that you can begin to unravel this in a very healthy way and level with yourself about what it is that you want and start building towards that. Now, that may mean you come back to this person and say, this is what I want, and if you can't meet that, then I'm gone. Or maybe you can say to yourself, oh, I can make certain compromises and this could be a success. In any case, okay, there is a process that you need to go through in order to get to the truth of what's going on, and that's your process. If this person was giving you what you wanted, okay, then we'd be talking about a very different story. Look, I hope this reading has made some sense to you. If it has, please leave some comments below, share and like where you can. Hit subscribe down below, that'd be great. Tap on the bell icon, that'll give you notifications for any readings that I post in the future. And if you want to get in touch with me for any kind of sort of more in-depth reading, www.tonyfoxtarot.com. Thanks guys, take it easy. Hi guys, this is card number 4. So this is the hematite, and if you chose hematite, this is the reading for you. So you're in the right place. And the question today is, can I trust them? Really important question, but we've got the cards ready to go. Let's put them out on the table and see what we've got. We have the High Priestess, 5 of Swords, the Magician, 8 of Wands, the Hanged Man, 6 of Cups, healing family issues, listen, and helpless and hopeless. So, draw straight to the High Priestess and the 5 of Swords. The High Priestess is a card of the future, so which is a little kind of ambiguous because we don't really know what's happening in the future. It's mysterious. We get glimpses of it, but it's coupled with a card of great conflict between people. I feel like the two of you are having a lot of issues around the future and the fact that things aren't clear. I get a sense that this person is not giving you a lot to work with in terms of mapping a future in terms of this particular relationship. Seems to me that they keep things to themselves. They're not clear about what's really going deep down. And I feel that that could be a great source of antagonism because, you know, if somebody's not being clear, if you feel like they're being a little bit veiled about things, then you do question whether you can trust them because they're not giving you the full picture. And this person is certainly not giving you a full picture about what they want for the future. So it brings up a lot of questions and it brings up a lot of issues. Their answer to the thing is, let's just go with the flow. Let's just see how things roll, basically. Quite a charismatic person, very good looking, great energy about them. They, bit of a self-starter, know how to work a crowd. Their energy is very sort of pulsating. There's a vibrance about this person, very attractive in terms of people sort of being, I guess, drawn into their field of orbit, orbiting into their field. Sorry. They're very good at speaking their mind, but they're also very good at channeling information. This is somebody who's really connected up on a sort of spiritual level. Magician is very much about shaman, he's a shaman really, and he communes with spirit. And that's coupled with the 8 of Wands. And the 8 of Wands is also a card of spirit. It's messages coming through from spirit. This is somebody who's very good at channeling information, about directing other people, has a very forceful and very engaging way about them. So perhaps they're actually distracting you from making plans in the future and distracting you from the conflict that causes by steering you in a direction that really avoids the issue, yeah? And, that's not all bad. I think it's about taking away the focus of conflict so that things can move forward between the two of you in a way that's a little bit more natural. But it doesn't get down to the root cause of being able to trust them, okay? The question is, can you trust them? The question is pretty simple for me because I think you can trust this person. I don't think there's anything dishonest about them. I think the reasons why they're not clear about the future are difficult. And they're difficult because they're deeply personal. And I feel that the Hangman and the 6 of Cups are a reflection of that. Once again, you've got the Hangman, you've got a card that hangs on. it pulls back, it's restricting flow, it's stopping things from moving forwards. It's a contemplative card. It's certainly really trying to sort of understand what's going on by stopping still. It's in a meditative pose, hanging upside down, the blood rushing to their head. It's very much about opening up the crown chakra. This is a very spiritual person, very spiritually connected person. They're quite wised up on that level, but they're not focused on a spiritual aspect in relation to why they can't forecast into the future. I think that's actually more about their past. The swords, they reflect past. The conflict lies in the past. What does the conflict lie on? Well, you can see here, because they're focusing on their childhood. This person is hanging on to something that happened in their childhood. The Six of Cups is a card of childhood, but it's a card of deceit, and it's also a card of mistrust. There's a character in the background that's not really fitting in the picture of these children in the forefront. Now, this gives us a further steer on what's going on. This is healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. Something's happened for this person in their family. It could be their parents, it might not be that specific, but it could be something to do with family. Let's keep it nice and general. I feel that something's happened to this person in their childhood, in their experience as a child. It could be their parents or some other sibling or some other family member that has left them feeling that they can't trust people. So as soon as people get close, so the issue is not about whether you can trust them, it's about whether they can trust you, ironically, okay? So this person feels that perhaps as soon as someone gets close to them, because the cups are very much about emotions, as soon as this person starts to open up on an emotional level, perhaps that you'll reveal something that is like their experience that happened to them when they were a child. So for them, forecasting into the future in terms of a commitment, okay, brings up a lot of issues around trust. This is a helpless person. Yeah, they're hopeless. This card is symbolic of a child caught in two different directions. They don't know which way to go. They can't move forward. Yeah, they can't choose left. They can't choose right. So they stop still. For them, it's just better just to be in the moment. Hence, going with the flow. If they stop and just keep still and just be in the moment, they're okay. But as soon as they have to move forward in any particular direction that actually plans a path, they become debilitated because they can't make decisions to go one way or the other. They feel helpless and they feel hopeless. The problem here is that being in this state shuts them down. They're not listening to the signs and the signals that take them forward in any particular direction. They're not listening to the conversations that they're having with you. When you're speaking to them about your sense of conflict about what's going on, they're hearing it, but they're not listening to it. And all they're doing is responding in a way that diverts from the real issue. Yeah, and this goes all the way back. Now, I feel that a part of what needs to happen here is that they do need to heal. This person needs to look at what happened. Perhaps with your help that they can do that. Though it's really up to them. And, this person is quite forceful in the way that they divert their attention from the real issues, okay? They tend to dig their feet in, and, I sense that they're not always interested at plowing through these obstacles in a constructive way. And so this can be a lot of hard work, constantly distracting themselves. But coming back to the question, I feel that the reality is that you can trust this person. It's that you're unable to plan for the future because this person has an enormous amount of suffering that's going on from something that happened to them in the past. Perhaps this can give you a broader understanding as to a more compassionate approach to this person, but healing needs to take place, okay? Without healing, this person is not going to be able to move forward in a constructive way that actually plans for the future. So with that in mind, okay, you may have your work cut out for you in helping them to get to a point where they can begin to resolve their issues of the past. Look, I hope this reading has made some sense. And if it has, please like and share. Please leave your comments down below. It'd be great to get some feedback. Hit subscribe. Tap on the bell icon to get notifications for any future readings that I post. And if you would like a more in-depth one-on-one reading, you can contact me via www.tonyfoxtarot.com. Okay, guys, thanks very much.